I'm Barry Michaels, and I'm running for CD3. This is actually, I hate to say this, but this is my 5th time running for the same position. I've never been in politics. I go back the last 20 years, got very interested in the legal system, the justice system here, the political system. And I've been in business for over 50 years now. My first career started in the health field as a doctor of chiropractic, and I soon found myself feeling that my patients were interfering with my business. So if you can figure that one out, and I've been in business ever since. I raised 2 children here. I should say helped raise 2 children. I participated in that. And they went to the Las Vegas school system here. They both wound up with academic scholarships, and they both graduated college. So I'm very proud of my 2 daughters. One is 22 and one is 25 right now. And, I don't know how many of you know anything about me, but I've got a lot of things on my website, and my views really haven't changed in the last 10 years. I've got a lot of solutions. I pride myself on solutions. And I'm really kind of an innovative thinker, so my solutions are unusual, I think, in some ways. I've got a school debt forgiveness plan. I've got a jobs plan, and it's kind of unique, and I think it will do a lot. However, as we all know, we have a Congress that's kind of a do-nothing Congress right now, unless we change both the House and the Senate. We're really not going to do anything as Democrats, unfortunately. So, one of the things I've done is, I look at both the political system and the legal system. And I got to tell you, about 20 years ago, I was involved in an airline that I started up, and I got myself in hot water, and I wound up pleading guilty to a securities fraud charge. And I spent 15 months in Nellis camp here. And I decided then, unfortunately, I pled guilty, which I didn't get what I pled for. So I spent the entire time in the law library, and I decided when I got out, I was going to go to law school. Well, I tried. I submitted my application several times. I have not gotten in since, but it doesn't mean I won't get in soon. Anyway, I went back to school. I went back to UNLV. I got myself a degree in political science, and then I got a master's in public administration. I sponsored a referendum here back in 2002 to increase the pay of teachers, and by increasing the gaming tax here, it didn't go very far. And right now, I just filed a major lawsuit. It's probably the largest class action lawsuit that has ever been filed here in this country. Actually, it's, I think, the 2nd largest. It represents about somewhere between 5 and 6 non-violent felons. And I think it's time to change the justice system tremendously. There's a lot of changes that need to be done. When somebody is labeled a felon for a lifetime, I believe it's cruel and unusual punishment, for one thing. And there are things that need to be changed. There's a bill of attainder. And I have become, I got to tell you, I've become almost a constitutional attorney over the years. I mean, I've taken...
And on that note, let's get to our first question.
I thought it was going to be a debate tonight. I got to tell you, I wasn't prepared.
Well, I've noticed what you've been posting about your legal fight, and I figured this would be a good time to ask, especially since this is one issue that will actually be on our ballots this fall. Question 1. Dealing with closing current loopholes in state law regarding background checks for gun sales. In addition to this, being a hot topic here in Nevada, it's an issue nationally due to loopholes in federal law. So, are you planning to vote for or against question 1? And if elected to Congress, would you support legislation to close background checks? And on And for on that matter, would you support any other kind of policy solutions on gun violence?
I definitely would. I've never owned a gun and really don't want to own a gun. The lawsuit goes much further than the right to own a gun. So yes, and it has nothing to do with the background checks, because obviously if we win in court, you still got to go through the Brady Bill and the background checks. So I've always been against guns, and you know, but I'm smart, and you'll find this on my website, by the way. You know that even though you know, I'm smart enough to know that we're not going to take guns away from people in the United States. There are too many guns out there. So what we need to do is tighten up the background checks. And I also like to say that you know, everybody's a good guy until they become a bad guy. So we talk about they pass the background check, and you know, half these people that do these horrific things wind up, you know, they pass the background check. So it really doesn't matter, because, you know, not that it doesn't matter, because we still need the background checks and we need to do a good job of that.
Ready for another question?
Sure.
Someone else would really like to know, in order to gain this person's vote, this person wants to know what you would do to, you know, improved a lot of military veterans here in Southern Nevada. You know, considering how the VA has been in the news lately, you know, what do you think needs to be done to fix the VA system, and what else do you think we can do, or really you can do, should you be elected to Congress to assist veterans who are coming home after fighting for our country?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that you know, I've always believed that you'll hire people smarter than you. As a congressman, I wouldn't be the only thinker. I would bring in a team of people that know a lot more than I do about a particular subject. But I believe we should treat our veterans, you know, just as well as we possibly could. I remember back, and it was probably 15 years ago or so, I remember, I think it was during the Iraq invasion, and there was a nonprofit here soliciting money to give calling cards for our vets in Iraq. And I thought that was crazy. I mean, that we wouldn't give them the ability to make a phone call in Iraq. We had to rely on a nonprofit to do it. So yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, I believe in team leadership. You know, you bring in people smarter than you, and you do things like that. However, again, we're dealing with a Congress, you know, that unless we change the House, which, you know, or the Senate, both of them actually, if we could change this, I guess we have a pretty good chance of changing the Senate right now, and maybe we can try our best to change the House as well.
Do we have time for one more question?
We're actually at the 7-minute mark,
Okay.
so we've got 2 minutes for questions and 1 minute for closing statement.
Okay. Well, then, figured I might as well give you a chance to answer what I asked Jackie Rosenwald earlier about LGBTQ civil rights. Whether should you be elected to Congress, you'd be a co-sponsor of the Equality Act, and what else you think you can do to further equality?
Well, obviously, I'm a firm believer in civil rights. I just created a nonprofit called Americans for Civil Rights. So I would do everything in my power to see that all people in this country have equal rights and protections. By the way, I don't know if everybody knows it, there was a Fourth Circuit case today that overturned the Alabama case, the basket case. So,
We're at 7.5
Okay.
minutes now.
So why don't we give you a chance for a closing statement?
Unless, is there anyone that has any questions real quick?
I'd rather take the question than give you a
I'll ask a
statement.
quick question so that you
Go ahead.
have all of your time.
Yes.
So, being that you've run for this office 5 times now, that you say, and you wouldn't be the only candidate in history who's run multiple times and then been elected to an office. That being said, it appears that when you want to do something, you keep trying until you get what your goal is. What is it that drives you? What is it that keeps you continuing to try to be elected to serve the community?
Well, I think I actually, I got a compliment from one of the reporters at Channel 8, basically saying the same thing, that I don't give up. So, what drives me is I know who I am. I know I have the ability. I know I'm a creative thinker, and I know what I can do for this country. And that's what drives me. And at this point in my life, I got to tell you, I don't need a career. I don't need a job. If I like to say now, I'm at the point in my life, if selected, I will serve. And that's how I feel.
Thank you.
I don't really have a closing statement other than, I'm hoping that you'll vote for me in the end. I will probably, over the next couple of months, I will probably be in the national press. We have on this lawsuit, since it is a major lawsuit. So I'm hoping that it will help me. Thank you.